Alright, welcome back. Today we are checking valve clearances on the VFR. I will be doing both bikes, but I will show everything on just one, so it's easier to follow. The service manual doesn't require removing the radiator, but I'm changing coolant anyway, so it's coming off. It also makes the front valve cover way easier to reach. The radiator comes off with two bolts, one on top, one on the bottom. Then I squeeze the hose to push out whatever coolant is still inside. Now I loosen the clamp on the right side and disconnect both radiator hoses. Next I unclip the oil cooler lines, loosen the left hose clamp, pull the hose off, and the radiator is free. Much better access now, so I pull the spark plug caps. And yes, the engine turns way easier with the plugs removed. Threads are oily, hopefully just the valve cover gasket leaking. One plug is much more carboned up. We'll see if that cylinder has tight valves. We'll be rotating the crankshaft, so I remove the inspection cover to access the crank bolt. If you haven't removed the tank before, here's the diagram. Same as before, unplugging the caps, now on the real cylinders. I remove the overflow funnel, the one that catches fuel if you overfill the tank. This rubber piece is held by two bolts on the valve cover, so off it goes. A hose runs through it. I'm cutting the rubber since the hose is coming out anyway. Reassembly will be easier later. Now I disconnect the fuel supply line from the tank to the carbs. I plug it with a bolt that fits the thread and wrap it with electrical tape. I also disconnect the crankcase breather. The carb fuel inlet gets plugged the same way, and I zip tie it to the neighboring hose. Now we can finally remove the valve cover bolts. All bolts out, cover comes off. Here's the top view. I forgot to pull the plugs on this side earlier, so doing that now. Moving to the front head, remove those valve cover bolts. You'll see silicone in a few spots. That's normal, not the previous owner hack. Here's the timing mark diagram. It shows how to align the crank for each cylinder and how to measure clearance with the filler gauges. Get a gauge set with fine increments, makes life much easier. We'll go step by step. First, rotate the crank to T1. Watch the cam lobes. Now measure the clearances on cylinder 1. You always measure at top dead center. You can see the piston at its highest point here. To double check, stick a long screwdriver into the spark plug hole. Rotate the crank and you will feel the piston position. T1 done, now rotate to T3. I won't show every measurement, here I am only checking the exhaust valves on T3. For each cylinder, set the T mark, measure intake and exhaust and write it down. Now front cylinders, setting T4 first. You don't have to follow my order, I just did rear first, now front. Cylinder 4 measured, last one is T2. As you can see, space is tight here. Removing the radiator really helps. Exhaust valves first, then intake. Now let's look at the results. I made my own spreadsheet. If you want it, leave a comment and I will share it. Cylinder T2 has clearance issues on every valve, which matches the spark plug condition. In total, 9 valves definitely need adjustment. I will also adjust one more that's near the limit. These tend to tighten over time. Next valve episode coming soon. Subscribe if you want to see the adjustment, and I will see you in the next one.